Hello, everybody, and this is the chair. We're going to do the Raider weekly, and this is going to be week 4, but a quick recap of week 3. And it was, let's just say, it was damn ugly. It was uh, non competitive after halftime for sure. Raiders went up to Minnesota and lost 34-14. Uh, Ugly effort in game, and got some vodka here, and we'll just get rid of it. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we got rid of last weekend. Can't have a game like that again unless nothing's changed and they're still not talented enough. They're still, as the vodka goes down, and there's still just no effort. There's still no sense of, hey, we can win a game. Uh, can't have that in the NFL. Don't care how young you are, how old you are in the game. It just can't happen, and that's what's been happening. Other from week 1, where I guess they were motivated, but now there's no motivation, no nothing. So let's move on. You saw the shot; it's over. Week 4, Raiders go to Indianapolis to play the Colts. I want to say Baltimore, but I'll say Indy. Um, this is probably the most winnable game on the schedule for the next 4 weeks. We have um, Indy here on the road, and then London and Chicago. You know how the Bears play on defense; they're amazing. Of course, Mr. Mack is there, Khalil Mack, and it's a shame that it didn't work out, and uh, it's just awful. Uh, the way he's helped the Bears, well, good for the Bears fans out there. Shout out to all of you. But uh, missing Khalil Mack and missing um, his efforts, his swipes of the ball, his sacks, his interceptions, everything. But we'll get to that when we get to that game in London. Um, and then in Green Bay and in Houston before returning November 3rd to Oakland. That's the next time. You got to realize that that's the next time in London, in Oakland, for the Raiders, the next home game. Because London is not a home game. London is, uh, on the other side of the world, pretty much. It's not a home game. Unfortunately, Raiders have, excuse me, have to play these darn uh, international games that really no one cares about. But we'll get to that when we get to the Chicago game. Uh, so the keys for the game against Indianapolis, I want to start on something I didn't write down, but I thought of pretty well, and it's, hey, if you can uh, special teams, because you know the Raiders punt a lot. You've been watching, of course, if you've known throughout the years, of course. If you can punt and make the other team start from within their own 5 or 10, even, you've won battles. You've won what you need to do defensively, as long as you keep them down. 3 and outs or short drives, whatever it takes to keep the opposition from driving, from scoring, from doing whatever they need to do to take over the game offensively. Time of possession, whatever there has to be. If we could get some punts down within the 5 or 10 in the coffin corners, I would love that to happen for the Raiders this week. But we'll definitely see about it. It's going to be tough sledding for sure. But if we get that part of the game, the special teams play, we get some returns going our way with Harris. Uh, Really, we have a shot there. The keys, let's just start defensively, is to getting Jacoby Brissett, the quarterback for the Colts. Of course, The shocking news in preseason week 3 was Andrew Luck retiring, so he's out of the game plan, and I wish him nothing but the best. But if there's a way to pressure Brissett, Key and Farrell have some blitzes by perfect, something happening positive defensively, and rush Brissett to make untimely throws, or if he holds on to the ball long enough, um, we'll get some sacks going. And I think the defense, if they get that going, get some turnovers, get some fumbles, okay, something's about to happen good for the Raiders in that perspective there. Now, one of the things I want to mention hindering the Colts this week and tomorrow's game has been injuries. So I have a list of them right here. The important ones for sure. The guys that are out for Indy is Malik Hooker. He's a great safety in the secondary. The great linebacker, his second year. He was great rookie last year for the Colts. Darius Leonard, excuse me. He has a concussion. Hooker has the knee injury and a concussion still for Leonard. Wish him nothing but the best after this for sure. And defensive tackle, or they use him at defensive end, Tyquan Lewis. He has an ankle issue. And I think the most important key, because this is one of Brissett's targets for Colts, is T.Y. Hilton. He is doubtful as of now. And as of now, it's 10:05 Saturday night. So if it's any different, if you hear any different or see him play, hey, it was 10:05 last night. So with that being said, the keys to stop Indy would be to take advantage of their injuries. Not having those guys I listed. Excuse me. And then somehow stopping Marlon Mack. Now, this running back, he's real young, but really good. Last year, he had a breakout season. So far this season, 3 weeks, in the 4th week here, he's been running so well for the Colts. And when you have passing game, running game, your chances of winning is sky high. And a great defense as well. Again, but without their safety, without their linebacker, without their defensive tackle, you have options if you're the Raiders here. And offensively, as they go against the defense of the Colts, you got to get Jacobs going again. Whatever he did in week 1, whatever he did in week 2, you got to get him going. You got to get him going up the middle, at a tight end, block for him, do something. Get him going on the sweep if you have to. I know sweeps aren't anything anymore, but thinking of something that might be working. I would love to see it. And the old going says if you run, that'll open up the pass, and vice versa. So with the running of Jacobs, if you can get that going, and then they play run, okay, you could get Carr going with Whaler, the great rookie tight end that the Raiders have. You can get him going on the receiving end, and then get Renfro going. Get other receivers going. Get some big plays down the field without their safety and linebackers, and get some time for Carr to do something. I think that would be great too, so he doesn't have to roll out so much. He could just stay in the pocket, for the 2 or 3 seconds he needs, and someone to break open. That's what the Raiders got to do, and I hope to see the receivers get open and do something with the ball for sure. Turnovers, of course, I don't want to see for the Raiders. No fumbles, no interceptions, nothing where they have to force something in and then make mistakes. That's always a bad thing. And then defensively for the Raiders, like I said, I want to see some turnovers. I want to see some penetration, making Jacoby Brissett again hold on to the ball too long, or making him throw errant throws and decisions, and uh, just Raiders to force fumbles and to throw turnovers. I think that would be something that would get the Raiders the win. Uh, Now, obviously, being a realist that I am, I don't know if the Raiders will do that. I can generally hope so and be wrong. I could see Indy winning 24-17, but I didn't just say that. Um, but hopefully the score will reverse, and people will like that. So that's been a quick preview of Week 4 of the Raiders going to Indy to play the Colts, and again, hoping for better results than the last 2 weeks. Week 1 was pretty much heaven, of course, when you beat the Broncos. Week 2 and 3 has been hell. It's just been hell bent. It's been anything but heaven sent. It's just been awful, to be honest with you. Now, I mentioned this uh, realistic prediction of 24-17 with Indy winning because they shocked maybe a few people with beating the Atlanta Falcons in Indy 27-24. It was a game that um, Atlanta had, and they gave away to Indianapolis. If you saw the highlights, if you saw the game, prepping for this game against the Raiders, the Colts, um, say, hey, they have time to get their weapons going. They have Matt, who's a great runner again. Somehow they could stop that. The Raiders can. This will be somehow a win because we know wins will come far and few as the schedule goes on, and it gets only tougher from here. Like I said, going to London against Chicago, going to Green Bay, going to Houston. So this is the win the Raiders need to honestly be relevant. And it's sad for me to say, but it's true. I mean, I saw a article that said out of the 10 a.m. game slots that we have, the Raiders are the worst. So, take that as what it is. That's what they think of us, and that's how we're playing at the moment. And that can't happen anymore. Uh, Perception or reality, it's two different things. And like I said, I know Indy might win, but I hope somehow, some way, the Raiders ended up winning in dramatic fashion. As we go on our history lesson, we know that um, Ghost to the Post was one of the top 100 plays in the NFL 100 history. That was, of course, the overtime game between the Oakland Raiders and Baltimore Colts. It went into overtime, I think double overtime, I can't remember, but Dave Casper made a great over-the-shoulder catch from Kenny Stabler in 77, and they moved on. And it was one of those moments I always remember growing up that was part of the great games of the Raider history. And just a little bit of that always comes up whenever they play the Colts. So that's been it of the game and preview. Want to give a shout out to there it is, the Grinds podcast. They're on all the platforms. You can find them wherever, and they have great content. They have their weekly Wednesday show. They give their opinions about pretty much anything, and they also do some football, some relationship talk. It's something that I think you need in your life because you're grinding. Why don't you listen to a show that has the grinds in them? And for once you're not grinding, they are for you on the grinds. So that's my little promo there. Todd and Matt, give them a shout out, and also Sculpt too. Skulltube 19. He's a Viking fan. I know we just lost to him. Screw you, Carlos. No, he's a great guy. He has a great YouTube channel, and uh, his content is pretty great as well. He has weekly picks. He has Viking predictions and everything you need about the Minnesota Vikings. If you have someone in your family or a friend that you know that's a Viking fan, have them shout out have them listen to that. So shout out to SkullTube 19 on YouTube, and check them out. Check all those guys out. They're great people to me. And one thing about the chair, I just want to mention it. We do this. Well, I shouldn't say we. There's no one else here. Duh. Uh, I wish there was. Imagine having like an audience here. Anyway, um, this show is the chair, and I do. As the vodka's getting to me, um, I do a show called The Chair, and it's almost every day. I have content going. I have something to talk about every day. I don't know what's that. Um, I would love to do some more content, not only here with football, as I do prediction shows, but I also have. I want to do some food critic stuff. I want to try out some food and let you know food reviews. I think because as you could tell, I could kind of eat just a little bit. That's why I'm hiding my chin. Um, I want to try some new stuff out there that I could take to go and bring it here and eat in front of you, and hopefully it won't make you sick. So, with that being said, look out for new content. We'll have talks. We'll have other stuff going on. The chair. It's a why I called it the chair because what I'm sitting on. It's this great leather seat. Maybe you see it. Maybe you won't. Maybe I'll slide in one day like Hansworth does, and sit in it. But as for now, that was the chair. Raider Weekly preview of Week 4, and it's been the grind, not the grinds, but the chair. But check out the grinds too. I will catch you when I do on the next video.